In my last lecture, I was telling you how Buddhism continued to flourish in Central Asia and how Buddhism was losing its control in those areas, and what was the scenario at that time in India. When you consider about Indian scenario, we find in the heartland of India, Buddhism continued to flourish under the Guptas. Gupta rulers ruled over India from 4th century to 6th century AD, and Gupta rulers like Kumaragupta supported and enlarged the Nalanda University, which became the largest and most influential Buddhist university in India for many centuries, where scholars from different countries, different parts of the world were coming to study. They were staying there. Then I was telling you about how Chinese traveler Huanshan visited India during the 7th century AD, and he reported in his travels across India that Buddhism was popular in Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, and Tamil Nadu. While reporting any deserted stupas in the area around modern day Nepal and the persecution of many Buddhists by Shashank, the king of Gauda, was perhaps the last days of Buddhist heyday in heartland India. Buddhism continued to flourish for some time, and under the Pala rulers, who were the feudatories of in Bengal, Buddhism again took the center stage. The Palas were strong supporters of Buddhism, and they built several important Buddhist centers like Bikramshila, Sompura. These are big monasteries and big Buddhist establishment. They supported older centers like Nalanda and Bodh Gaya, and it was during that time we find the scholars, philosophers are coming to Nalanda to study, and from there we find Buddhism started spreading towards Tibet, Bhutan, and Sikkim. When Buddhism was going to be a less important position because of the advent of Turkic invasion under Muhammad Khilji in 1193, Buddhism started declining, at least in India. Nalanda was burnt by these Muslim invaders, and after the Islamic conquest of Bihar, Buddhist stronghold started to decline, and because of the rise of Hindu philosophy like Advaita, Bhakti movement, Buddhism was pushed to a corner. But while Buddhism was losing popularity in the Gangetic plain, it was being systematically destroyed by the Muslim invasion, yet it remained a force to reckon with in the present day Odisha, earlier known as in different names, Kalinga, Toshala, Utkala, and many other names. Now, let's know about the state of affair of Buddhism in Odisha. Buddhism in Odisha is as old as the religion itself. While Kapilavastu, Lumbini, Bodh Gaya, and Sarnath, these places are associated with Buddha's life, yet Buddhism as a religion, in all practical purposes, started in Odisha. Early Buddhist texts referred to two merchants from Utkal, which is another name of Odisha, two merchants from Orissa. Names are Tapashu and Bahlik. They met Buddha on his way to Sarnath. Buddha was going to Sarnath that time after attainment of enlightenment, after he got the Bodhi. Then he was going on his way to Sarnath, and these two merchants, Tapashu and Bahalik, offered him honey and some rice cakes. Buddha gave them 8 locks of his hair, and these two merchants became the first disciples of Buddha, and this way it was perhaps the beginning of formation of a band of lay followers, lay disciples. Emperor Ashok, after Kalinga War, officially embraced Buddhism and jealously worked for the spread of the Buddhist religion. For any lay Buddhist follower, besides Bodh Gaya and Sarnath, there is yet another very famous, extremely famous pilgrimage site, such as Dhauli in Kalinga, which is just 10 kilometers away from modern city of Bhubaneswar, where Emperor Ashok was transformed and introduced Buddhism as its state religion. He was actively propagating it even as far as the Sri Lanka and Indonesia through his personal benefits, through his personal ambassadors, carving his edicts in the rocks, rock edicts and pillar edicts, still visible at Dhauli, and establishing strict vegetarian food for himself and for the entire court. So that was the change in Ashok. After Kalinga War, he changed not only his lifestyle, not only his food habits, but also the food habits of many people in his empire.